Hey guys, welcome to the Facebook Live for the Play-Doh making. So I'm hoping that everyone's going to have all of their ingredients ready. If you don't, you can follow along now and then get your things out later. Just a reminder that the actual recipe is free to download on our website in the printable section on the Creative Makes website shop. So if you haven't got your stuff right now, you can go ahead and download the recipe on there at any time you like, and then you can pop back on and watch the video once you're ready to go ahead and do it. So I've got my kids here to help make the Play-Doh. So I'm going to turn my camera around in a second to get them to actually, and I'm just going to give them instructions on how to do it. So I will still be able to see any comments or whatever that you make. So if you want to say anything or ask any questions while we're doing the video, then by all means do so. But yeah, if you have any questions later on after the live is finished, you can also just type them in the comments. I'll be around for most of today because, you know, the weather's so fantastic that we can't really go outside anyway. So I'm going to turn the camera around. Hi, Christy. Is Maya there too? I'm going to turn the camera around and we're going to start our Play-Doh making video. Hopefully this works. Hey, okay. So this is William and Elsha. Say hi, guys.
Hi.
And we're going to start. So I've got all the ingredients ready. Watch out so I can show everyone the ingredients. So I've got the cream of tartar, the salt, the flour. I've got my mixing bowl. I've got the food dye. One wanted pink and one wanted blue, so we're just going to go with purple. The oil and all our measuring things. I've already measured out all the dry ingredients just because it was easier for the purposes of the videos. Hi, Indy. But you guys can measure it out as you're going. Now for measuring, you'll see I use the really exact.
She stole my cup.
Hello, Edward's children. Good morning. I use the really exact measurement of my Stormtrooper cup.
That's mine, thank you very much.
It's yours, isn't it, William?
You stole it.
So when you're doing your measurements, as long as you've got a cup that you're using for everything, so if you're using the same cup for all of your dry ingredients and your wet ingredients, it will work. It doesn't have to be a measuring cup. So, and I've got my hot water over here in the kettle. So I boiled that a little while ago and it has cooled down a little bit. You can use the water out of the tap, but it's not going to work quite as well for dissolving your salt because I actually dissolve the salt into the water beforehand, so then you don't get chunky salt bits in your Play-Doh. So what we're going to do first, Elsha, I'll get you to measure 2 cups of water out of the jug into this bowl. So I'm just going to move around here so that we can see what Elsha's doing.
So where do I put it?
So you're going to measure it into the cups. Yep, into the cup. So you want 2. So the easiest way to do it so you don't make a mess is to put the cup inside the bowl. Oh, inside the jug, sorry. We're measuring this into the jug. Oh, it's probably going to be a bit hard to get out with that jug. I normally do it like that, but that jug's too small. So tip it in carefully. It is hot, so don't spill it on yourself. So the reason we do the water first, that's enough, is to make sure that the salt can dissolve as much as possible before we mix it in with the dry ingredients. So that's 1 cup of water. And we want 1 more cup of water. I've probably put too much water in that kettle, haven't I, babe? Sorry, it's heavy. All right, that's enough. And tip that into the bowl.
I think it's going to go to 6.
All right, so now we need to add the salt into this. Do we have a mixing? Where did my mixing spoon go? William's got it. Can you tip the salt into the water for me, Will? Please. All of it.
And then I mix it.
So that's a cup of salt. So tip it all in.
This is a very good idea.
Why isn't it a good idea? That's it. Now you're going to mix it up. So we're going to try and dissolve as much of the salt as we can. It is not going to all dissolve, and that's totally fine, but we want it to dissolve as much as possible.
Already starting to get red.
Yeah, so you can see that the salt's going to dissolve. The water starts going all cloudy because the salt's dissolving in there. So, Elsha, while William's mixing that, can you please tip a little bit of each colour into our... So you're going to tip it very slowly.
Please
Because I don't want
tell me when to
food
start.
colouring everywhere. Just tip a little bit in. So with your food colouring...
Is that too much?
That's enough, that's fine. With your food colouring, you're going to make sure your water is quite dark, because when you mix
looks
in the
like
colour,
cordial.
it does look like cordial. When you mix in the colour with the flour and everything later on, it lightens it all up. So a little bit of blue as well. That's enough.
Mama, that's black.
So that's probably more than we need, but that's okay. We're good.
It's your fault.
So this is definitely darker than what we're going to end up with. So when we mix together red and blue, who wants to type into this what colour we're going to make? So don't say anything else, Will, because I know you know already. So what colour do we make when we mix together red and blue? Anyone? So keep mixing, Will. We want to make sure it's all dissolved. That's it. All right, so we can leave that now. Look at the colour on my spoon. All right, so now we need to mix together the dry ingredients.
Your turn.
So Elsha, tip the flour into the bowl first. So that's 2 cups of flour.
Then the
And some cream of tartar. That's 4 tablespoons of cream of tartar.
and the mix.
And then we need some oil. So we need 2 tablespoons of oil. You right? I'm just going to open the oil bottle for Elsha.
Mom, I can hold it.
There you go.
Thank you. And tip, 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 tip. Oh my god, I was just gonna put so much on that. Look at this.
That's one and
Looks
one
like
more.
egg yolk.
So the cream of tartar and the salt are preservatives. So putting those in is going to make this Play-Doh last for quite a while, especially if you leave it in the fridge. If you do keep it in the fridge, you'll need to take it out a little while before the kids start playing with it, because it goes quite hard while it's in the fridge.
Can I mix it?
The oil keeps it moist.
Can I mix
Yeah, so give it a little bit of a mix.
with this?
Yep. Just to mix our cream of tartar and everything together.
They both look like flour, except the tartar's a bit more darker than the flour.
No, the flour's the darker one. The tartar is the white one.
Oh. Okay, that's not...
Mix, 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 mix. All right, now I am going to, can I borrow the spoon for a moment, Elsha? I'm just going to give this one more mix, because as you can see, I'm really careful with not mixing things together, just use the same spoon, don't worry too much about it. I'm going to give this one more mix, and then I'm actually going to start pouring this water in, but I'm not going to pour all of it at once, because I might not need all of the water. I also might need to add more water. So the thing with flour is, depending on, for those who bake, you would know this already, but depending on the batch of flour, some is going to need more moisture than others. So Elsh, while I'm pouring this, can you give it a mix?
Oh, it's turned out black.
It's sort of a really dark purple, isn't it?
I
So
like it. It looks like violet.
I'm going to put about that much in. So now it's about adjustment. If I put too much water in, we don't need to stress, because we can just add some more flour. If I haven't put enough water in, I can just pop some more. Look, that's a nice purple. Look at that.
Looks like more like a dark.
It's groupy.
Looks like more like a dark blue. How come Elsa's been getting dirty now?
All right, so how are we feeling about that, Elsha?
Yeah. It looks like a dark.
Can you hold the camera for me so I can give it a little bit of a mix?
purple
So make sure you hold it over the bowl. That's it. So you can see this is quite moist.
And it also soaks up the flour for some reason.
So generally at this point, depending how much Play-Doh I need. So for those who've got quite a few kids in their house and you're going to want to give each child a little bit of Play-Doh, you can continue to add water and flour until you're happy with the amount that you've got. It's about feeling the texture. So this is a little bit too moist.
I like it moist.
I know you do, but but you can't really do much with this because it's too squishy. It gets stuck to your hands. So what we're going to do, doing a Facebook Live at the moment, Mum, so you're just going to have to wait a second. Sorry. So what we're going to have to do is add a little bit more flour into this. So we'll literally add a tablespoon at a time.
Can I do it?
Like this. Until we're happy with the texture. So that's probably enough for mine. Now I will actually, so you can see how much water I've still got left in here. I will actually use the rest of this and I'll make enough Play-Doh so that the kids have got quite a bit each. But you can see this. So when I'm touching this, it still actually feels quite soft and sticky. But as it cools down,
it gets less sticky.
It gets less sticky, doesn't it, Will? You've done this before with me.
Yeah, sometimes it gets a bit disgusting.
So yeah, you can touch it.
Nom, 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 nom.
So the reason why my Play-Doh always feels so soft when you guys come into the studio is because I don't mix too much flour in there at the beginning.
Oh, ew.
I probably need a little bit more actually.
That doesn't look right. Oh, ew.
Just a touch. Not even a tablespoon more. And I feel it so that it's nice and soft and it still feels slightly sticky while it's warm. And then as it cools down, it will be perfect to play with.
Ew.
So that's quite good now. All right, so we're going to need to leave it to cool down before you play with it because it is going to be too sticky to play with to begin with. Now, this will last up to 6 months in the fridge, especially if you do put it in the fridge in a sealed container or a Ziploc bag. So don't be afraid to make a massive batch.
So it'll stay good when it's like sealed up and something.
Exactly, yeah. And when it starts going icky, you can tell it's going icky because it starts to get a little bit smelly and it might start getting a little bit wet inside the bag, which it really shouldn't be too bad. So that's my nice, easy, whoops, I'm flicking Play-Doh everywhere. My nice, easy, soft Play-Doh. Just keep adding flour until you're happy with the consistency, as I said, or if you need to make more, then you can use the rest of the water that's there and put more flour in with it. And so using your Play-Doh, didn't say that, you can just use it on its own. I like to add things in there like paddle pop sticks or cups or cookie cutters or spoons or whatever. You can, roll shapes in it. You can stamp with it. So I've got like a slotted spoon here that I could use to stamp shapes in it. Just use things that you've got around the house. Use scissors to cut it up. Spatulas make good patterns in Play-Doh, don't they, mate? So whatever you can find. Yeah, you can drive cars in there. That's a good idea, Elsha. So anything that you can find to use in your Play-Doh, then use it. Play-Doh washes off really easily. So if you can find things that you want to stamp in there, any shapes, you can turn cups up. You've got plastic cups at home. You can turn them upside down to cut shapes out of it. What else could you use? Yeah, cookie cutters is a good one, Will. I like that. What else have we used with Play-Doh before? I can't even remember now.
Forks?
Forks.
We use hands.
Yeah, we use our hands most of the time, don't we? I can't even think of anything else.
Hey, lollipops.
Whatever you can find. If you haven't got a rolling pin, use a bottle. You can use a bottle. Or you can use your toys in there, that's right. If you get Play-Doh all over your toys, sit them in some water for a period of time and the Play-Doh actually just dissolves off of the toys. So, those little metal cars, the little Matchbox cars and stuff, if you use those in your Play-Doh and they get full of Play-Doh, you can just sit them in some water and the Play-Doh will dissolve off and then run them under the water. So that's it for our Play-Doh Live today. So I can't hold the phone. Elsha's got the phone now because I'm covered in Play-Doh. But I hope you guys have fun with your Play-Doh. If you have any questions, comments, any ideas about what you've been doing with your Play-Doh, I'd love to see pictures of the things that you make out of your Play-Doh as well. And I want to see what colour everyone does too. So we've made purple, which was mixing together red and blue for
With a
food
bit
colouring.
too much red and blue.
With a little bit too much food colouring, but that's okay. So I want to see what colours you guys make as well and tell me how you made those colours. So you might like to mix up a different colour as well. So have fun with your Play-Doh and show me all your creations, and I'll see you guys soon. Oh, one more thing. I will not be doing a Facebook video tomorrow because it's Sunday, but I will have another one going up on Monday. I'll be talking about a couple of ideas. So it won't be actually doing an activity. I'll just be talking about a couple of ideas for really easy things to do with younger children. So that video is going to be for sort of like 2, 3, 4-year-old kids. So have a fantastic weekend, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you all next time. Bye.
Bye.
All right, so you're going to press finish.